now in a time of crisis.
There's been a lot of anger or a lot of frustration or pain.
With everything that's going on with the election and a lot of hatred that's happening in the world.
The volatile nature in which people are attacking each other.
Sometimes my gut reaction is not nice.
Kind of been a mix of having a lot of righteous anger,
but there will be someone who gets up and says, like, the only way that we can accomplish anything is to lead with love,
as well as a deep just urge of compassion.
I think, okay, how can I be love in this situation?
Remember that we need Christians on both sides of the aisle.
The bigger divide, more than anything, in my perspective, is that there's a division on truth.
Building relationships and saying, I know what the media said, or I know what the headline said, or I know what the email said, but I know that person, and that's just not who they are. I'm going to continue working with them.
There's far more middle ground, far more discussion that can happen beyond getting to this volatile place of thinking someone isn't a Christian or someone isn't smart or intelligent or they're evil or they're dumb.
Soften my heart, breathe the wisdom anew. We're at a crossroads, Jesus seeking you. The promise of God is yes and amen, yes and amen, yes and amen. The promise of God is yes and amen. Yes and amen.
Sometimes you have to go your own way, but I don't think this is that time. I think we need to come together.
We are part of the solution, but I also think we are part of the problem. So we're not looking at the other person as the source of the issue, but we first need to look at our own selves.
I think we can do better. I know we can do better.
First, we got to be humble. And being humble is for me, has been the gift of being able to admit I was wrong. My thinking wasn't right. I missed God on that one.
When I learned to be more forgiving of myself and accept the truth of who I am, then I magically became more accepting and forgiving of other people.
I do believe we're meant to be teachers, but I also believe even in that we're meant to learn and grow.
It's in that space of being uncomfortable that growth happens for us.
The very best teachers give people space to grow. I think God is the best teacher of them all, and He does that for all of us.
I don't think Jesus ever said America first. It's people first, and it's love first, and I think that was the message of Christ.
When I say I'm hopeful, it's not just sitting back and letting things happen. There's an opportunity for us to step out, to be a voice, for us, to articulate what hope really means.
It's not just like you just have to be loving. It's like a fierce love. It's like the kind of love that makes you say no, that makes you get angry, that makes you activated.
We may not be fully responsible for seeing a solution come to light, but what we are responsible for is doing whatever piece that we feel is on our hearts and is necessary for us to do to move people forward, including ourselves.
I believe that if I keep doing what I know is right and what I feel is right, I can make a difference in the world. Whether it be through dance, or speaking to that one person on the train, or just shaking someone's hand telling them it's going to be okay.
Heaven restored, an unstruck sound, a promise of peace, of grace so profound, comes through the noise to your whispers of truth. We're at a crossroads, Jesus seeking you. The promise of God is yes and amen, yes and amen, yes and amen. The promise of God is yes and amen, yes and amen.
I think the root of all people's soul is to be heard, is to be seen, is to be understood.
You can correct later, but there's times to just listen.
That love has has to always be there. I don't think there's any way to really be in connection with God without having that love in your life.
Leading with love.
Faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love.
I stand for love. I stand for love and togetherness.
I need to find a middle ground. And I need to find that with my brother. I need to find that with my family. I need to find that with my friends and church members. I need to find that place where it's like we actually want to see God's kingdom here on earth.